Welcome back, fellas and ladies. Thank you very much for tuning in. Monday, November 18th, right around 10:45 on the East Coast. Okay, the reason I'm making this video is because we do the sports stream on Mondays and Fridays, right? And I talk about observations, surface level things, to give you guys also some insight and some additional gems when it comes to things to pay attention to, and just everything. You know what I mean? And today was just like another great example, and I had to highlight this, right? Because if you didn't watch today's sports stream, right? I did a stream earlier talking about everything that was going on in NBA and NFL prior to the game starting, right around 5 p.m. Eastern. And I want you guys to hear specifically what I said about these two games. I highlighted them, and I basically told you, um I gave you the plays, you know what I mean? I gave you what to look out for, what jumped out to me. So just I want you guys to just hear what I said about these two games specifically.
Five away, taking on the Toronto Raptors. 2-12 on the season, 2-4 at home. Okay. Now, just on the surface, this line looks incredibly odd, right? You have a team who's one game below 500 going against a team who's 10 games below 500, and the spread is only 3.5, right? Um, as well as the money line seems to be a bit small as well. Indiana is a minus 165 road favorite, and Toronto is a plus 140 home underdog, right? The spread's 3.5 either way. And the over under is currently sitting at over under 234.5 points, with Vegas leaning slightly towards the under. Okay. The injury designations for this game are as follows. So Miles Turner is a game time decision. Nembard is out. Naismith, half of the roster down for Toronto is out. You have Barnes out, Brown out, Carton out, Fernando out, Olenek out, Quigley is out, and Walter is out. That is 7 players that are not available to play tonight for Toronto. Okay. Um, Besides RJ Barrett and Okai Agbaji, who I know from Kansas, um, I'm pretty sure you guys would not be familiar with any other player that's in the starting lineup for Toronto. So it begs to show you why the line is so small. As far as is there a potential trap being placed by Vegas on this game? We don't, we shall see. But just judging from the amount of players that are out for Toronto, the amount of players that will be available for them, um, the line looks incredibly small. And even though that this is a home game in Toronto, I don't really think that matters as much. So I will be paying.
So yeah, guys, in that video I specifically highlighted a couple things. One, the line jumped out to me that was extremely suspect. Extremely small. Half of Toronto's team wasn't able to suit up. They had 7 players that were out. Their starting lineup looked like a college team. However, the line was still incredibly small, with a Indiana Pacers team who, from a public perception, this should have been an automatic win, right? So highlighted it, pointed it out. The line was small, and then fast forward to, let's see what the final score was, right? Give me 1 second so I can bring it up. You guys never have to take my word for it. You can always double check my whatever it is I'm saying. And look, man, it was a shellacking, right? Give me 1 second. I'll bring it up for you guys to see. Okay. So you have the Toronto Raptors with a depleted roster, arguably one starter, took on the Indiana Pacers as a slight home favorite, and they won 130 to 119, right? They won by 11 points. They put up a big amount of points, and picked up their third win of the season, right? But again, I highlighted, in fact, why this game looked strategically like a Vegas trap, and that's exactly what it was. Okay. So shout out to everybody that paid attention to that stream, took advantage of this. Again, Toronto was plus money. Um, so it was, great ROI on your investment, good return plus money situation. Okay. Fast forward to the next play that I'll be talking about so you guys can see, which was, give me 1 second, because it was back to back. These games just happened to be back to back on the slate. And it was the Milwaukee Bucks, right? As a slight home favorite at 4-9 on the season versus a Houston Rockets team that has been playing very, very well. Okay. Now, the great thing about this, Milwaukee was a 3.5 point favorite. They didn't cover the spread, right? But the spread was not what I was talking about. I mean, as far as covering it, what I was highlighting was the fact that Milwaukee, theoretically, to the public perception, they should not have been favored, right? Giannis has been back for a couple of games. They pretty much went 500 in most of those games, or 2-1, whatever it was. But he's been back for a couple of games, so it's not the return of Giannis, right? However, Milwaukee was favored, and they did end up winning the game. And the great thing about this, okay, is that Houston took a 13-point lead, so you were able to take advantage of Milwaukee at big plus money if you jumped in at the right time. But the observation was on point. This was another game that I spoke about where the line pre-game, the line was very, very suspect. And I'll get into it. I'll show you guys exactly what I said, so you don't have to take my word for it, right? Give me 1 second. I'll bring it on over. And this was in today's stream when I was talking about the Houston Rockets.
Attention, yeah, that's that game. 4 in the season and 4-2 away, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks at 4-9 on the season, 3-3 at home. And this game, Milwaukee is a 3.5 point favorite, right? I'm not sure Giannis, if Giannis has been, let me see if Giannis has been playing as of recently. Okay, so Giannis he played the last game versus Charlotte, played Toronto. So yeah, Giannis is back, right? Which gotcha. But just on the surface as well, this line looks weird as well. For a couple different reasons. One, Houston's been playing incredibly well. Milwaukee has not. Milwaukee has definitely underperformed to start the season. Giannis has been back. This is not the first game Giannis is returning. And there are some injury designations as well for this game that do not favor Milwaukee, right? So you have Damian Lillard, who's a game time decision. Giannis is also carrying a game time decision designation as well. Chris Middleton is out and Rollins is out. So you have both star players from Milwaukee who have injury designations, injury tags, but Milwaukee is favored by 3.5. Milwaukee is minus 150 on the money line, and Houston is plus 130 as a road dog with a 3.5 point spread on both sides. The under over is the West versus East matchup going down on NBA TV, right? This line looks type sus just on the surface. If I'm, especially because of the injury tags that are attached to Lillard and Giannis, right? Houston is healthy. They do not have no injury tags on any except for Whitmore, he's not really a player that impacts the game ridiculously, right? Fred VanVleet, fine. Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and Sengun, all of them are suited and booted and ready to play, right? So just on the surface, the spread. Now, if it was a smaller spread, right around minus 1.5, maybe it would make a little bit more sense. Or if it was on the other side, Houston minus 1.5, the Milwaukee minus 3.5 is definitely something to pay attention to. This game and the prior game with Toronto, I feel the line is trying to tell us something, and it's up to us to pay attention and listen to it, right?
So congratulations once again for everybody who paid attention to today's stream. I specifically highlighted these two games on back-to-back occasions and said these two games are suspect. The lines are suspect. It looks like a Vegas trap, and the lines are telling us something, okay? So shout out to everybody who took advantage of that. I got a bunch of messages of people saying, yo, I appreciate the heads up. So like I said, man, the sports streams and these observations could be extremely, extremely beneficial if you're paying attention, listening, and tuned in, right? Also, I did answer direct questions on my Patreon as well as Instagram direct messages prior to the games going off. Take advantage of these outlets. If you're not following me on Instagram at Mr.Futures, mr.fut, you are the number 3NS. You're bugging. If you're not already subscribed to the Patreon, you're losing out. Okay. So, these strategies, my experience, the discipline, what I speak about, what I know is just unparalleled. Okay. I've been doing this a very, very long time, more than half my life. So, shout out to everybody that supports me. Appreciate you guys once again. And big ups to a great stream today. Again, I'm looking for more interaction and feedback and perspective from the community while I'm doing these sports streams. But in the meantime, I'm giving out gems, I'm giving out free game, I'm giving out the heads up, and it's about time people really, really lock in and tune in and support the movement and what I'm doing. As I said, I've recently been demonetized by YouTube. Right, they're on an active campaign to keep the channel small, and I really need the push of the community, the supporters, and everybody. A like, a share, and a subscribe on YouTube is absolutely free. So while you're coming over here to check out the video and check out all this, just give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It's nothing. Okay. And if you want to take it a step further and support me as a content creator, you could join a membership. Or I probably won't have that available right now because I'm demonetized, but you can get on over to Patreon and support me directly. Join one of the most profitable sports communities in the world. Super consistent, been cracking heads and taking names for the last 5 years. And the record and the achievements and everything like that speak for itself, right? So appreciate everybody. Thank you once again. Just needed to highlight that and speak about it because, we did our thing today. So appreciate everybody. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mr. Futures, a.k.a. Victor, and I'm out of here. Peace and love as always.